Hi, Taurus and Taurus Rising. Here is your horoscope for September 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, get ready. We are in eclipse season once again. This happens every 6 months or so, where we have 2 eclipses coming in, sometimes a third. And if it's an angular eclipse, we'll have a third eclipse. But this is a month of major change for many of you. So if you're a Taurus rising or a Taurus sun sign, this is a very, very general overview using sun sign astrology, whole house systems, using the tropical whole house system of the Western astrology. And again, it's very basic because everyone's birth chart is different. Everyone's birthday is different. So again, this gives you a general idea of where the planets are, where they're moving in the constellations. And it's still going to be pretty accurate. I would say 75% to 80% accurate for many people. So keep that in mind. If you know your rising sign and you know your sun sign, you know your moon sign, you could figure this out a little easier. But anyway, let's get into this and I'll show you what's going on this month with the planets and why it's so important. This is a major month for you guys because the sun is going through Virgo, another earth sign like yours. It's going through this 5th house. So many of you are finding that you're very creative, or you're trying new things and you're trying to explore new things, and you're either feeling happier or having more fun or being more playful in some way when the sun this time of the year goes through Virgo. But this month we also have a solar eclipse in Virgo, which is going to open up a major doorway for the next 6 months to a year in this part of your chart. The 5th house of love, creativity, playfulness, fun, romance. This is all opening up the possibilities here for many of you, okay? So keep that in mind. We also have your ruler, Venus, is in a very good position right now in the 4th house. So you're dealing with real estate matters, family issues, or maybe you're working from home, or you're in a very creative state of mind because Leo is very creative. So the 4th house is showing me, including with Mercury being there and now is going direct in the 4th house, there's a lot of thoughts about your home life and where you live. Maybe you want to move, maybe you want to remodel, maybe you're painting your house, maybe you're doing something with the landscape. All of that stuff is going to be on the table here as Venus and Mercury make their way through the 4th house. But then eventually Mercury will be leaving this part of your chart, and Venus will be leaving this part of your chart again into this 5th house. So it looks really good for many of you. So keep that in mind. Now, some of the things that are not so great is Uranus is going to go retrograde this month. And this will be the 4th planet to go retrograde. It'll be all the outer planets, essentially. And then, of course, Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. And that's the first transit of the month right there. From the end of August into September, Saturn goes back into Pisces. Now, it's not a bad thing. It just means, you're going back to the past in some way. Now, Pisces is all about spirit, spirituality, mysticism, creativity. And so with Saturn going back into the 11th house, there's over the next 4 months or so, it'll go direct in November, but it'll leave Pisces in January of 2026. So Saturn is going to have you reevaluating everything pertaining to this 11th house, your plans, what it is that you want for the future, your hopes, your visions, your dreams, your organizations, people associated with you, your acquaintances, your friendships, your business endeavors within communities. If you have a business, let's say working in the community, or you have a job that involves communities, you'll be reevaluating all of this stuff. So that's big news there too. The Uranus retrograde, which I will get to in a minute, very important about values and financial matters. So these things are all on the table right now this month, and we're going to see a lot of it come out. Now, here is more good news. Mercury enters Virgo on the 2nd right there. Now, Mercury in Virgo can be very skeptical, very analytical, to the point where it becomes obsessive. But it's in the 5th house, so you might find yourself with more humor and being more dramatic, or maybe you're working on a project that involves more focus. And so over the course of the next 3 weeks, this Mercury will help many of you out with concentration, with looking at all the small details and what needs to be taken care of. Could have something to do with health matters as well. Virgo rules health, digestive system, anything to do with the stomach, anything to do with food. This is all possible here on the table. So keep that in mind with this alignment. Now, when we continue, here's Uranus entering or retrograding back into Gemini. So here it is. It's starting to go stationary and before it goes direct. Retrograde, excuse me. And it'll be retrograde all the way until I believe the end of January, beginning of February. So it'll be in Gemini, but it'll be retrograde. So what that means is in the second house, you're really thinking about everything pertaining to how you earn your money, the physical side of life, your possessions, what you value, what you don't value anymore. You see, that's what Uranus is going to do in this second house. Maybe bring up opportunities from the past. Maybe you're going back to a job or a business or something you've done from the past. This could absolutely resurface, okay, during this long period of time. Remember, all the outer planets will be retrograde for quite a few months. So this is going to be a turning point for many of you. You go within, you figure it out, all that stuff, especially with the eclipses this month. And here is the first eclipse on the 7th, the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. It'll be here in the 11th house. It'll be at, I believe, 15 degrees of Pisces. So wherever that is in your birth chart, you really need to pay attention. But the 11th house has to do with the future. It has to do with friendships, acquaintances, people in your life, communities, how you relate to others. And Pisces energy is about giving and sacrificing, but it also is about dissolving. And so you're coming to some sort of realization. I'll give you an example. Maybe you've been a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim all your life, and all of a sudden you decide one day, I don't want to be a part of that anymore. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, because Pisces rules religion. And I'm just using that as an example. But maybe the friends in your life are becoming too religious. Maybe you're becoming more religious, that kind of stuff. So this is all going to be a realization period. Full moon lunar eclipses are endings, yes. They're completions, yes. But they're also realizations. I'm coming to realize something about my life, about my future, about my friends, about my organizations, about my groups, about my community. This is what is coming to light with this lunar eclipse. So it's a creative time too, because it'll be opposing the sun in the 5th house. So there's definitely a lot of creativity this month for many of you to take advantage of. Mercury enters Libra on the 18th, right there. Mercury in Libra is much more friendly and social and creative, and it's going to be in the 6th house. So it has to do with your daily routine, how you take care of your health. Maybe you're focusing more on exercise. All of this stuff is going to be front and center for the next 3 weeks as Mercury makes its way through the 6th house. Now, Venus, your ruler, enters Virgo on the 19th, adding another element of love, beauty, fixation on your children, having more fun, being more playful. Now, Venus in Virgo can be very analytical, as well. So maybe you're helping your children and you're helping them to change in some way, or helping them with school or whatever it is if you have children. The other thing, it could be your own personal relationships like romance. Venus going through the 5th house can make you more attractive to people. So you might find yourself just, people wanting to be near you, or wanting more attention, or wanting to get to know you, and just being more loving overall. The 5th house is about love. And so you might find that very advantageous this month. So you can see here, there's a lot of energy building up around this part of your chart, especially around the 20th and 21st, when Venus will be still in the 5th house, but now this super strong moon in Virgo at the last degree of 29 degrees of Virgo will be a solar eclipse, which is a powerful doorway that's opening up for the next 6 months to a year. And this is suggesting, again, everything I just said about the Venus in Virgo, now it's amplified even more. Maybe you're having a child, if you're, of birth age, childbearing age. Maybe a new project, a new love life, a new endeavor in some way. Everything new, everything about the 5th house is about new, about creativity in some way. So this is going to be very powerful for many of you. It sets the tone, like I said, into the next year, in for about another 6 months to a year. So you got a great opportunity this month, if you're a Taurus and Taurus rising, to really, break through and try something completely new that, you might enjoy. All right, let's get to the next one. Mars enters Scorpio to add more intensity and passion to your life. Mars is your opposite sign. Scorpio is your opposite sign. Mars in Scorpio is very intense, very passionate, very driven. It's not as wishy-washy as it is in Libra. And so here it enters your 7th house. So now you're really focused on, okay, I need to be around more people. I need to, focus on my business and my partnerships of all kinds. 7th house has to do with all of that. Unfortunately, the 7th house also has to do with open enemies. So you need to be very, very careful, because Mars is going to be in a very tough alignment to Pluto right up here. So the first week or so of Mars entering Scorpio could bring in some tension with another person, maybe about business or, something to do with a partner of some kind. So I need you to pay attention to that. Now, the Sun enters Libra on the 22nd right there, focusing once again on, peace and quiet and beauty and taking care of health and your daily routine. So this is all about, nutrition. It's about, just moving your body. It's about taking care of yourself and your responsibilities and the other people in your life. So there's a tremendous amount of energy here that's building in the 6th house, as you can see here with Mercury and the Sun towards the end of the month of September. Anyway, there's the overview. If you want to know more, I do an extended version of this in my Inner Circle community, where I go over some of the aspects that are taking place. So you have a better picture of what's going on. I also do the weekly astrology there, so I give you an overview, and that's really been interesting, because I've been really forecasting stuff ahead of time that's been happening in the world there. Of course, I do Zoom calls every Sunday, and people get a chance to ask me questions. We interact. People send me their charts. I answer a few questions. And so there's a lot to do in the community, and consider joining. There's a free 7-day trial. I left the link down below, and I hope to see you there. Anyway, have a great month, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.